I notice an instinctive feeling that when I coach a team, I like to see the ball in my team. I don't know. I like it. When we have the ball, I'm like, yes.
Yeah. That is Ruud van Nistelrooy speaking on the overlap. And I'm going to have a conversation here about Ruud van Nistelrooy and Manchester United. He's over there on the wall. And it was only last week when I was speaking about Van Nistelrooy potentially going to Burnley to be their new head coach, I was saying that he is my favourite ever striker to play for Manchester United. And Fabrizio Romano has revealed that Man United have made an approach to Van Nistelrooy for him to come to join United. You can let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think Van Nistelrooy would choose to come to United and be part of Ten Hag's coaching team, or would he go to Burnley to become their head coach? Which do you think he would choose? That's the million-dollar question I want you to answer in the comments. By the way, it's a little bit weird because Burnley have announced a first-team assistant coach before they've announced a new head coach. But Van Nistelrooy has been approached by Burnley. We knew that last week, and we've already had a discussion. And this is the news here that's coming from Fabrizio Romano. Van Nistelrooy has been approached to be part of Ten Hag's new staff at Manchester United. It's up to Van Nistelrooy, as he's also the strong candidate to become the new Burnley boss after company. Changes will be taking place in Manchester United's staff. Now, that isn't anything new. Don't know why I stopped there. Anyway, during this whole process of will Ten Hag stay, won't Ten Hag stay, a part of that conversation was around the actual setup of his staff. And The Athletic released this article, I believe the week before, thereabouts. Of course, it says there, Ten Hag's overriding preference is to continue at United. That's happened since. And in that case, some internal conversations have centred on whether a reshuffle of his coaching staff is required, including the addition of a new voice at assistant level. Man United's current setup, of course, Erik Ten Hag as the manager. That's now going to become Erik Ten Hag, the head coach. We've got Steve McLaren as an assistant. We've got Mitchell van der Gag as an assistant. Van der Gag, of course, who was assistant under Ten Hag at Ajax and came with him. And then you've got Benny McCarthy as an attacking coach, but his contract actually expires this summer and he could well be leaving. But just thinking about Ruud van Nistelrooy back at Manchester United puts a smile on my face. All right? He is the most prolific and just wonderful striker that we've ever had. Raw power, goals of all varieties, an absolute predator in the box. I think he only scored one goal outside the box in his Manchester United career. Those 3 seasons after he joined, oh man. And that was not right at the peak of United-Arsenal rivalry, but we all know what happened there with the penalty with Key and everything else. Now, would Van Nistelrooy come to Manchester United to be part of the staff over a head coach role in the Championship? I think you could look at pros and cons for both, right? Obviously, going to become head coach of Burnley, maybe he could do what Company did, got over 100 points, and then got relegated, and then actually got the Bayern job, so it kind of worked out for Company. Obviously, there's more responsibility. There's more immediate opportunity in the short term in that role. On the flip side, coming to Manchester United to work under Erik Ten Hag in a brand new footballing structure at Manchester United, the first time that's ever existed, also presents its own opportunities for Ruud van Nistelrooy. And he could maybe in the long term be thinking, right, okay, well, I'm going to go there, and if I commit to being there for like 2 to 3 years, and if inside that period of time it doesn't work out with Erik Ten Hag and INEOS decide to move on, they would probably look towards Van Nistelrooy first if he's been in the United setup for a couple of years. So maybe in the long term, Van Nistelrooy think, well, this is a big opportunity. Maybe not immediately, but overall. And he would compare those two. But Van Nistelrooy, right, in his 1 season at PSV, won the Dutch Cup, finished second in the league, but nobody scored more goals than PSV. And I'll tell you what, I think I would definitely want to do a bit of a deep dive into Van Nistelrooy's PSV because I think that's probably the first nod we've got towards what this INEOS game model would be. If they would want Van Nistelrooy to come in and be an assistant coach at Manchester United, it tells you that they are happy with his style of play. Little clip there from the overlap saying that I want my team to have the ball. Right, want to be in control, and obviously we all want that as Manchester United players. Of course, Van Nistelrooy left PSV, and it was a bit of a weird exit. Cited a lack of management support because apparently it was reported that several players made complaints about his style of coaching and tactics. That's definitely going to require some more research. to try and find out what happened. Of course, in that season, he managed Branthwaite. Branthwaite praised Van Nistelrooy for his impact on him, telling he coached into him that he had to be side on so that he can go forward or backwards equally as fast if he needed to. Well, it kind of sounds like a basic thing to do, but anyway, he helped him develop. I think Van Nistelrooy's spoken pretty highly of Branthwaite as well. Xavi Simons was in that team. Bakayoko, Sangare, was he at Forest? I think he's at Forest now. Anyway, they finished second, scored the most goals in the Dutch league, and won the Dutch Cup. Van Nistelrooy does have pedigree. And if you're looking and thinking, who would be the best person ever to bring into Manchester United to help Rasmus Højlund develop? Bingo. Ruud van Nistelrooy. Legitimately the best one you could possibly choose. And then that begs the question, well, what happens with Benny McCarthy? Because if Manchester United go back here, were to bring someone in at assistant level, then that would on paper still leave room for Benny McCarthy as an attacking coach. But Man United haven't given him a new contract yet. I think it expires or has expired already at the end of the season. Not sure. And this is just the first hint, an indication towards the changes that are going to be coming in the backroom staff, because INEOS have chosen to stick with Erik ten Hag. But I don't think they're going to stick with the same coaching setup. And I'll be honest, I would have more belief in Manchester United's coaching setup if Ruud van Nistelrooy was part of it. He's good enough to be a manager in his own right, was a manager in his own right, and successfully so at PSV. And as I said, in the short term, I think the opportunity of being Burnley's head coach and going into the Championship is a bigger opportunity for Ruud van Nistelrooy than to become part of Erik ten Hag's coaching staff. But maybe if he looks at that opportunity at Manchester United as more of a long game, then there is the opportunity that it could open the door or get a foot in the door for maybe Van Nistelrooy to be Manchester United manager in the long term. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm kind of thinking that, well, I suppose I'm thinking in the same sort of mindset as Van Nistelrooy will be thinking. Which do you think he would choose? I'd be really interested to know what everyone says in the comments. I'd love him at Manchester United. As I said, part of that is massive, massive bias. Hands up. Hands up. Definite bias towards Van Nistelrooy because of how much I loved him as a striker. But him as an attacking coach, him as an assistant coach, coming in and helping Erik ten Hag in this setup, and Erik ten Hag simply becoming the head coach of Manchester United, taking those responsibilities away from the transfer side of things, and bringing in Ruud van Nistelrooy to help build a better setup overall. It's kind of ticks all round, really. But I have no idea which one Van Nistelrooy would choose. If I was to be completely honest, I think Van Nistelrooy would choose the Burnley job. I think he would probably feel that he's more capable as the top man, the head honcho, rather than going to work underneath Erik ten Hag. But I have no idea. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But just the idea of it, right? The idea of getting these photos from Carrington this season of Van Nistelrooy training Højlund. Imagine how much better Højlund could be, and Rashford, and any attacker. He eats goals. I'd love him back at the club, but I question whether he'd choose it.